What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the US, let me know what country you're representing. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes, put it in your face, put it in their face. You know, we already got some trolls in the chat. So I need you to put it in their face, family. My moderators, I need you to go into overdrive to get them up out of there, get them suckers out of there, treat them like the rest of the world treat them, give them the old double dose of Rodney Dangerfield. No respect, ignore them like the people who they're really interested in their lives, ignore them. You dig what I'm saying, fam? In fact, they're not really interested they're not really in their lives. They want them to be in their lives, but they don't want to be in their lives because they know that they are worthless scum. Get rid of them. Yeah, treat them bad, family. You see them in the chat, treat them real, real bad. Moving on. If you have not done so already, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. If you want to skip the line, you can jump into the super chat. I'm gonna go in on this topic and I'll come right back over to the super chat I'll come right back to the chat starting with the super chat, then I'll work my way over into the regular chat. Now, you don't have to really be a sports fan to appreciate what I'm about to say, because this really involves rivalry. Everybody can relate to rivalry. And in the early 90s, well, just not just early 90s, but in the 90s, it was hard to find greater rivals than the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons, the bad boys of the NBA, one of my favorite teams. Now, there is an ESPN documentary airing right now called The Last Dance, and they're up to 4 episodes. In the 4th episode, I believe actually the 3rd episode, they started talking about the Detroit Pistons and the Chicago Bulls rivalry and how the Detroit Pistons infamously walked off after the Chicago Bulls finally was able to beat them in the 1991 Eastern Conference Finals. You know, Michael Jordan and the rest of the Bulls, they took it as a sign of unsportsmanlike conduct. They didn't appreciate it. They thought it was petty. They felt like, hey man, for the past 3 years, we sucked it up and we shook y'all hands when y'all beat us. You know, now, you know, y'all acting like some little spoiled brats. This ain't cool. So this is what Isiah Thomas said. And before I get to what Isiah Thomas said, Michael Jordan in the documentary was about to be shown what Isiah Thomas was saying today about that incident. And he didn't even want to see it. Before he even looked at it, he was saying, Michael Jordan said that Isiah Thomas would make an excuse and because he's had time to think about it, and he'll probably say the politically correct thing is what he was alluding to. And this is what Isiah Thomas had to say. He said, Adrian Dantley was shooting a free throw and the Boston Celtics were walking off during the game. I grabbed Mikhail and said, and then he stopped as he was walking off the floor. That's how they left the floor. And to us, that was okay. He said, knowing what we know now and the aftermath of what took place, I think all of us would have stopped and said, hey, congratulations, like they do now. We would have did it. Of course, we would have done it. But during that period of time, that's just how it was passed. When you lost, you left the floor. That was it. So he was talking about the reason why the Detroit Pistons abruptly just walked off without shaking hands after they lost is because the Boston Celtics did it to them when they finally beat the Boston Celtics. So it was like, well, you know, I guess that's just how it is. And I can relate to that because it's certain things that happens in the music industry, and you see people who come before you behave a certain way, and you just pick up on that way, and you just kind of like emulate what it is they do, right or wrong. So Isiah is basically saying that if I had a chance to do it all over, we do it all over. He has no reason to lie about what his feelings were or what his feelings are now. I mean, he's a multi-millionaire. He's got his own thing going. He don't need Michael Jordan, and he don't need any accolades. He don't need any TV time. He don't need any of that stuff. If he really wanted TV time that bad, he'd go buy himself a television station or some type of streaming service so that he can see himself on TV all the time. But Isiah Thomas has never come across to me like that. If you follow Isiah Thomas, if you know anything about him, you don't ever hear about Isiah being caught up in scandals. You don't hear about Isiah treating people bad. You don't hear about Isiah, just getting caught up in any type of drama. The dude is straight by all accounts. Everybody that I know who know him say the same thing about him. Good dude, solid, straight up. Can't really say the same thing for Jordan. But in the event, there still is a lot of bad blood, primarily coming from Jordan. Jordan, he was really pissed when the producers attempted to show him that rationalization from Isiah. He just kind of balked at everything. Like he didn't believe it. He was like, this is actually his statement. He said, well, I know it's all bull. Whatever he says now, it wasn't true. It wasn't his true actions then. He has had time to think about it, or the reaction of the public has kind of changed his perspective of it. You can show me anything you want. There's no way you can convince me he wasn't an a-hole. But again, Isiah was like, yeah, if we could do it over, we'd do it over, because that decision cost me a lot. I guess he lost some endorsement deals, probably some business deals, and a lot of other type of action, because the Pistons were coming down and the Bulls were coming up. And once the Bulls started coming up, well, really from Jordan's rookie season, he was being positioned as the new face of the NBA. And the dude had a lot of power, even though that power couldn't save him from getting beat down in the early stages of the games he played against the Detroit Pistons. Boy, they was tearing his ass up, knocking him down, slap, boom, bang. It was no Air Jordan in that paint back then, where if he tried to come into that paint, you got a half of Air Jordan because they clipped him. Those Detroit Pistons were some mean guys. It was some very mean guys. But anyway, fam, I'm taking Isiah's side. See, I always take the side of the guy that I think that has the best character. So I think that Isiah is the most trustworthy guy in this situation. But I will say this, like I've said it before, you can't take anything from Jordan as a player. I do believe that personally, he's the greatest player to ever play the game as far as basketball. I've never seen anybody as clutch. Never. Never seen anybody as feared like this dude get that ball. They used to talk about how his opponents couldn't sleep. They would be restless the night before they had a game against him. It was like they didn't know how to defend him. They just couldn't. Containing Jordan often meant that he only scored 30 points. You dig what I'm saying? Like that was considered containing him. Anyway, let me go ahead to the comments and see what you guys are saying. Chicago discredited Houston and never played them. Is that so? Old school Pistons were tough. Bad boys for real. Real talk. Carolyn Mentor says, Isiah was the dirtiest player stepped on the paint. Isiah was a silent killer. Yeah, he was dirty. All of those boys that played for Detroit, they was dirty, but they could play. They could still play basketball too. You know, especially, you know, Isiah and what was his name? Well, you know, Dennis Rodman when he played for the Detroit Pistons. Lambeer, you know, Lambeer wasn't no sucker in that paint. Well, he'd put you down. And he was pretty good post player. But yeah, the bad boys of Detroit was nothing nice. I used to love watching that. Today, man, like a team like the Detroit Pistons, if they were to play any team in the league today, you would have a whole, all of those players be crying, and you know the team. I mean, they'd probably be thrown in prison for attempted murder or something. No way possible those dudes could play today under those same guidelines. Not the dudes today. But then again, the guys today, if they wanted to play in the NBA, they would have had to adjust, just like Jordan had to adjust. Jordan was a dirty player, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't the kind that would try to hurt people. He wasn't the kind that was dirty where he, you know, try to hurt a person, whatever. He would hold you and, you know, give you a little bump and stuff like that, but he never tried, well, I never seen him trying to hurt anybody. But Detroit Pistons would try to hurt you. Yeah, Rick Mahorn, yeah, that boy was a beast. Audrey Green says, we used to call the Pistons the Pistols. Yeah, I don't, that's one of I really don't like watch a lot of basketball. Even football is changed. Like they don't have it's like they don't even want them to have contact anymore. The football players today, you know, like, especially these quarterbacks, man, they be babying these quarterbacks. You can't tackle them, you can't hit them but so high. And I'm like, man, you're an object on that football field. You deserve to get hit. That's what football is all about. Football is a contact, brutal, manly sport. If you can't stand it, man, you don't need to be playing football. That's the kind of football I like to see. I want to watch football and feel like it's something I can't do. You dig what I'm saying? I want to watch or something that I would not risk doing, right? Like, oh man, them boys is out there like wrecking balls. I don't want to be out there. But they barely, you know, when they hit you, you know, it's all pads. You know, you can't hit above a certain, you know, like, I used to like that real contact, like Michael Singletary and what's his name? I can't believe I can't say his name, but he used to play for the San Francisco 49ers. Ronnie Lott. Woo! Ronnie Lott was a killer. Ronnie Lott will take your head off. Oh man, I used to love watching Ronnie Lott play. These dudes today, tag, you're it. Totally different. Totally different. Cartier, what up, though? Bad boys for life. Real talk. Appreciate you, Cartier. Yeah. Now, Isiah had that soft look, that soft voice, and that low-key, laid-back, unassuming demeanor. That boy was a killer. Isiah was a killer. LeBron would have been able to play ball. You know, he would have been good against those dudes, the bad boys, because he's a big dude, so he could take the physicality. You know, he could take it, and he would have definitely been able to dish it back out. So he would have been all right. Kobe would have been all right in that era because Kobe had a mean streak. You know, if you got a little meanness about you, you got heart, and you got that meanness, you can get them boys up off you. Yeah. Yeah, you know, you tough like that, man. You know, like, yeah, you can get them boys up off you. That's why Allen Iverson was so effective. He didn't really come along. I think Allen came along, what was it, like the mid-90s? When was Allen Iverson? Let's see. You know, Allen Iverson used to take a lot of contact. Let's see, so Allen Iverson, they got Allen Iverson listed at 6 feet, but ain't no way Allen Iverson 6 feet. Allen Iverson is like 5'10", maybe 5'11", maybe. But Allen Iverson came along in 96. Yeah, so that was, you know, when Detroit was really had faded by then. But there was still some tough guys back then. They were still playing really tough. And because Allen Iverson used to hit that floor a lot. But in those late 80s, well, all through the 80s and late and 90s, early 90s, oh man, oh, you go into that hole, you going on the floor. You are going to hit the floor. Yeah, Allen Iverson took that contact. He did not mind, and he kept on. He'd get knocked down, go right back to the hole again. You couldn't stop him from going to the hole. What's up, Serena? Oh yeah, we're talking about Michael Jordan and Isiah Thomas rivalry back in 1991, well, the 90s and late 80s, where, you know, when Jordan first got in the league, the Detroit Pistons were champions. I mean, they were the bad boys of the NBA. They were winners. They were the guys that Chicago had to go through Detroit before they could become champions. And Isiah Thomas was the star player on the Pistons. So they had a big rivalry. And, you know, for 3 years straight, Detroit knocked Chicago off, knocked them out the playoffs. When Chicago, and Chicago always shook their hands after the game. After they got beat, they shook their hand. Well, when Detroit finally lost to Chicago, instead of exhibiting good sportsmanship, they walked off the floor. They walked right off the court without shaking hands. And Jordan and the other Bulls and the city of Chicago never forgave them for that. They thought it was, you know, they thought it was petty. They thought it was unsportsmanlike. So that's been like a bone of contention for decades. I think we're talking 29 years now. It's still bad blood for that team's decision to walk off the court without shaking hands. And Jordan is now being featured in a documentary on ESPN called The Last Dance. And all of these old wounds are being reopened. So that's what's happening. That's why we're having this conversation. Got a new member in here. Who is this? Family, welcome Keith Clanton to the WillieDLive family. What's up, Keith? Appreciate you. Welcome to Level 1. Show him some love, fam. Jay Tatum, what's up? Can you contact Uncle Luke about the check-in BS. For what? What's going on? Did I miss something? I know Luke ain't worried about that type of stuff. Tell Cam team, what's up? Welcome to level 2. Show the new members some love, fam. You see them, show them some love. They'll be highlighted in green. Yeah, I would have to say Bill Laimbeer was probably the dirtiest Piston. He might be in the running for the dirtiest player ever. And Bill Laimbeer did not mind squabbling. Oh, you say Luke did a video saying out-of-towners need to check in. Wow. Unbelievable. I ain't checking in. I know that. I don't, shit. When they start making these presidents check in, you know, they start making these white boys check in, I might just decide that, okay, well, maybe I don't want to go there. You dig what I'm saying? If your ass don't work for the airport, man, come on, man, be for real, bro. That's black people, bro. Black people trying to bully black people. You know, I bet you George Zimmerman ain't never checked in coming in and out of Miami Airport, or coming in and out of those city lines. I don't even believe that. I have to watch that. I have to see that video. If you saying Luke said something like that, don't even sound like something Luke would say. Willie D, watching from the UK, appreciate all your videos. I need urgent advice on a crisis. We'll be sending you an email regarding this. Would be grateful if you could look at it after this broadcast. Hope this is okay. Let's see, said the blind man. Appreciate you, Natasha. Tasha Samuel. Oh yeah, Joe Dumars. How could I forget about Joe Dumars? And what was the dude, the microwave, Vinny? They called him Vinny. That dude, that was cold. I mean, you couldn't put him in there too long. You know, he started like slipping, but boy, he go in there and get you about 10 points real fast in 5 minutes. Let's call that boy the microwave. Vinny Johnson. That's his name. Yeah, that boy, that was bad. See, we used to play the same way. I see you, Serena, upgrading. I see you. We used to play the same way in my hood. Like if somebody came to the neighborhood to play, and like they would come to our neighborhood all the time, like the ball players, like the guys who would, like the high school ball players. They either lived in the neighborhood or they come to the neighborhood, and they be playing. And as soon as they get out on the court, man, we put them on the court. As soon as they step out there, the first time they try to take off with that Air Jordan flying stuff, put them down. You're gonna shoot some jumpers in this game, partner. You're not about to be, flying through here on no highlight reel. Put them down. I'm talking about it didn't matter if they were 7 feet. Put them down. You're not gonna be in this paint. Come in this paint, you're getting put down. Oh man, somebody just mentioned Mark McGuire. Oh yeah, Mark McGuire was like the man. Milwaukee mass shooting yesterday, Fox News. Check that out. Keith Clanton. All right, fam, I'm gonna shut it down. Okay, so I just want to give out some final shout outs to new members and people who hit the tip jar today. Royalty Simpson, Serena Santiago, Cartier, Keith Clanton, Jay Tatum, Tell Cam Team, Is You, new member, Is You, appreciate you. And Natasha Paula Samuel, what's up? Coming out the UK. That's what's up, fam. Until next time, fam, y'all be easy out there. Be very, very careful out there. Continue to practice social distancing. Whether you believe it's a very, very real threat or not, it's always cool to err on the side of caution. You dig what I'm saying? Till next time, fam, no more talk.